Hey guys, Utwaro100 here. Okay, and now in this video, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Space Jam: A New Legacy. So I finally did see the movie today. I mean, I know this movie has been out for like a month now, but I just haven't really been able to see it. But I finally did get the opportunity to see it today because like I have said before, I still do actually see these movies in the theater. I don't watch these movies on Disney Plus or HBO Max or any of these other streaming services that they're being released on. I'm still a theater supporter, so so I do still watch these movies in the theaters. So today I did finally see Space Jam: A New Legacy, and so in this video I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the movie. Now, I'm sure I probably don't even have to give you guys the spoiler warning now because since this movie has already been out for about a month now, a lot of you probably have already seen it. So I really don't think that I really have to give the spoiler warning in this video. Yeah, so when I saw the trailers for this movie and stuff, I wasn't really too sure what to expect with this movie. Because the trailers for it really did make me feel like kind of skeptical about it. I just really wasn't sure how it was going to turn out because seeing the trailers, it did kind of look like it did seem like pretty different from the first movie, and a lot of people really were saying that it really looks stupid and bad, and and plus the fact that Michael Jordan wasn't in this movie, a lot of people really were just really not being very positive on the movie and really just not really being that excited for it and everything. Yeah, and plus, and even with the reception this movie's gotten, the critics really haven't really been too good on this movie. This movie only has a 27% score on Rotten Tomatoes. So the critics really are not really giving this movie a lot of love. Yeah, and plus I've even heard like people saying that just how this movie was just really bad and they didn't like it and all this other stuff that they've been all this negativity they've been giving this movie. So going into it, I really wasn't too sure how the movie really was going to turn out. But I finally did go see the movie today, like I said, and I gotta say, I actually really liked the movie. I actually did think that it was a pretty good movie. I mean, I think that probably one of the big criticisms that a lot of the criticisms that this movie is getting are people that are really comparing it to the first movie. And and when you hold it in that regard, the first movie really is definitely a lot better. Even I really do love the first movie. If you saw my review for the first Space Jam that I did last year, I did say that I really did love the first one, and I really have watched it so many times. And so I really do really like the first movie. So if you're really gonna hold it in that regard, if you really are really gonna be comparing it to the first film, then I'm sure you really are really are not gonna really think too fondly of this movie because the first movie definitely was much better than this one was, but I still actually did enjoy this movie. I mean, if you really look at this just as its own film, if you really don't really look at it really in comparison to the original, I actually do think that this movie overall it is pretty enjoyable and it is actually pretty creative with what it does. I mean, of course, in this movie, rather than Michael Jordan, this film is it stars LeBron James. And and it does kind of have a similar setup to the first film in a sense because in this film, of course, LeBron James ends up tra- being sent into the Looney Tune world, and he does he does meet Bugs Bunny and all the other Looney Tunes, and and really just and really it culminates with like them like forming another basketball team to go up against the villain in the movie. So yeah. So it is like kind of like similar in its setup, but it is also like a it is like different too because in this film like it's not um LeBron James really is not actually playing basketball for like the same reason that Michael Jordan was in the first movie because in the first movie like of course Michael Jordan was really playing basketball to really help the Looney Tunes to prevent them from actually like being captured by the aliens. And in this movie, it is like actually like LeBron James has a different reason for playing basketball in this film because in this film, what the story is that LeBron and his son Dom end up actually being like like they end up like and end up like going into like a virtual reality dimension, and Dom ends up getting like separated from LeBron, and the villain of this movie like really just like tells LeBron that if he wants his son back, he actually has to win a basketball game against him. But if he loses, that and they'll be in the dimension forever. Ever. So and and then LeBron James really like ends up like forming a team with the Looney Tunes, and then they then like they all like come together and they actually do like a form basketball team, and then they play against like the team that LeBron's son has made to go up against them and stuff. So yeah, yeah. So overall, like I actually did like think that I did at least like that this film really like wasn't a rehash of like the first film, and it really just didn't like totally like repeat what the first film did. It did actually like think outside the box, and it was actually like did actually try to come up with originality. So I do like that, and plus and as far as like LeBron actually becoming like them animating LeBron in this movie, I actually like that. I actually did think that that was a pretty cool idea that they decided to actually like when LeBron actually does actually travel to like the Looney Tune world, they do actually make him a cartoon. So yeah, and that I actually kind of like that about the movie. Like we never did actually see Michael Jordan end up like becoming animated when he traveled to the Looney Tune world. So yeah, so I did like that they decided to actually make LeBron animated while he was in the Looney Tune world. Well, yeah. So I actually did kind of like that about the movie. Yeah, and plus also like in the film, what something else I really did like about it is because like this film is of course like done by Warner Brothers, and what I really like really loved about the film was like all the different like the Warner Brother Easter eggs throughout the movie. Like they didn't actually this movie didn't only like feature the Looney Tunes; it actually did feature like several other um cartoon characters that are like the property of Warner Brothers right now. Like they just had a whole bunch of like different Easter eggs like that. Like it had like the DC characters such as like Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman and all those characters, like they were in it. The Flintstones, like Fred and Barney, they were there. The Scooby Doo characters, the Iron Giant was in there. Yogi and Boo Boo were in there. Like, just I really did like that they like actually did like feature like all these like different cartoon characters and not just the Looney Tunes. I did like that they really did like feature like the film like did include like all these like classic cartoon characters in them. I did like that. Yeah, and stuff. Yeah, and also I actually really did sort of like the fact that like while this movie like it's not really like a continuation from the first Space Jam. Like I thought it was creative how they did like still bring up that the fact that like the first film did take place, but they didn't actually like fully acknowledge that like they didn't really like totally acknowledge the first film, but they did say well they did acknowledge it, but they didn't like really directly do it because there were points where like the when like it was mentioned that they were playing basketball, they did like say that they've like been through that before and stuff. Yeah, so I did like how they did like do like sort of like reference the first film like that. Yeah, and plus also like there was that Michael Jordan bit in the film where like during during like the halftime of the game, how Sylvester mentioned that like he did actually find Michael Jordan in the audience, and then everybody was excited to see Michael Jordan to help them, but then it was revealed that it was just Michael B. Jordan. So that was something that I did actually like see coming. When it happened, but I still did think that it was like a clever way to really like mention Michael Jordan in the movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I guess I should also mention that like when LeBron like first like comes down to the Looney Tune world in this film, like it shows that it's just Bugs Bunny that is down there, and then like Bugs Bunny explains to LeBron that the villain of the movie um Algae Rhythm, as he's called, who's played by Don Cheadle, he actually did like make the other Looney Tunes actually like leave the Looney Tune world and explore other realities and like the in the dimension. So yeah, and so then you know. So, like LeBron and Bugs like end up like traveling off to find the other Looney Tune characters so they can like form the Toon Squad again. Yeah, and that is was kind of interesting that they did that. It was kind of similar to like what happened in like the 2011 Muppet movie, how the Muppets like were like all separated, but like they like ended up like bringing them all back together. So yeah, I actually did think it was like I did like that they went down that route. Yeah, and it shows that like how all the other Looney Tunes are like in like the different dimensions of like the Warner Brothers cartoon. It showed like how Daffy was like a Superman, and it's like Porky the Pig was like the cameraman for it, and it even like had clips of like some live action movies that Warner Brothers actually the that are like property of Warner Brothers. Like it showed how there was like Austin Powers and Casablanca and The Matrix and all that. Like it showed how like the other Looney Tune characters were like in roles in those movies, and I did actually like that. It showed like how Elmer Fudd was like now Mini Me and Austin Powers, yeah, and it just like showed how just other characters were featured in like all these other different like Warner Brothers there's shows and movies and stuff, yeah. Uh, so yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that they like did actually like include like other sort of like Warner Brothers property like movies and TV shows was in this film like that. And, yeah, yeah, and so yeah, and I guess I should also like talk about like what this movie was like the main premise of this movie or like what the story for this movie is that like as a boy as the movie starts it shows how when LeBron was like a young boy he like was in like in a youth basketball league, but it shows that like after like LeBron missed like this game winning shot, his coach like really did reiterate his advice that he gave to LeBron before, and then LeBron like took the coach's words to heart, and it showed that how LeBron really did like really like given the coach's advice throughout life, and it shows that like when it does cut to like the 23 years later, as LeBron is fully grown now, it shows that like how he has his two sons, and it shows that like how he's trying to teach Dom to follow in his footsteps, but it shows that like Dom like actually wants to be a video game developer, and it shows that he is creating like another game, which is like an arcade basketball game. And so yeah, and this is like really like the game that LeBron and the Looney Tunes do play against Dom and the team that he's created and stuff. Of like that game is actually like where they do play basketball in the movie. Yeah, yeah, and it shows that how LeBron really is like not really like in total support of Dom's interest in developing games, and he just really does want Dom to follow in his footsteps, but Dom really just does not want to play basketball. Oh yeah, yeah. And throughout the film, like as Dom and LeBron are like in the virtual reality dimension, it shows how Algae Rhythm is really like being very manipulative to Dom, really just like trying to like convince him that like LeBron really doesn't care about like what he wants to do, and really is like really basically like trying to turn Dom against LeBron. So it does like have that story going on. Stuff, yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah, and then like yeah, in the film, like when um LeBron really does actually like get all the Looney Tunes together. Like it shows how like he really is like really pretty much like trying to train them to play basketball the same way Michael Jordan did in the first film. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, and then like once like it is time for like the game to start, like it shows how Algae Rhythm does actually like make the Looney Tunes into like he changes them from like just a 2D animated to like 3D animated. Yeah, and that is something else I do like about the film is that they actually like had the Looney Tunes like when we first see them and like when LeBron does travel to recruit them, it is like hand drawn animation. So I like that they really did use like hand drawn animation in this movie, like because really just in like cinematically, just hand drawn animation really just is not that common anymore. Like everything, just about everything now with animation, it's CG animation. So I like that they did actually like use hand drawn animation in this movie for the Looney Tunes when we do like see them until like this basketball game. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, going back to this, yeah. Yeah, Algae Rhythm like transformed Looney Tunes into like a 3D animated characters, and LeBron was like restored to like just his like normal live action form. Yeah, and it showed how Dom and Algae like made an opposing team that was named the Goon Squad, who, that was like comprised of like just avatars of several active basketball players that like Dom was leading. Yeah, and it showed like how also like Algae Rhythm did actually like like make an app to like so like everybody was be able to watch a live stream of the game, and it was like a trap for him to really like just abduct countless viewers and bring them into the dimension, which included the rest of LeBron's family, like his wife and other kids. And yeah, and he also like did like recruit like a whole bunch of other Warner Brothers characters watched the game as well, which did like consist of like those characters that I did mention earlier on, as well as like some other various Warner Brothers characters as well. And Algie also like said that if the Toon Squad loses, like all the viewers will remain in the dimension, and the Looney Tunes would be deleted permanently. Yeah, and yeah, and I guess like this is kind of like where the movie does get like kind of silly and stuff because yeah, unlike the game in the first movie where like it was basically just like a treated as just a normal basketball game, and this one like because it was like a in like a virtual reality dimension, like it was done like really like silly here because in this game like players were like able to like score extra points when they use like their like powers to like move around and down with the ball, and whenever they made baskets, it would like score a whole bunch of points. And yeah, so yeah, this is where it does get kind of silly. I mean, I really would have preferred it if they still did treat it like just a normal basketball game like the first movie did, but yeah, they decided I did to like make it like more silly in this one. Yeah. And yeah, early on, like basically in the entire first half, like the Goon Squad really was like very dominant. Like they have like a lead of over 1,000 points. Yeah. And yeah, and I should also mention that like at a couple of points like during the game, like it did like cut to like various characters and in the crowd and stuff, and it actually did show like the nerdluckers from the first movie a couple of times. Of course, it was like stock footage from the first movie, but yeah, it did show them, so that was like kind of funny to see. Yeah, but then yeah, then of course like after like halftime, LeBron really did like give the Looney Tunes the same pep talk Michael Jordan did in the first film, and then yeah, then that like then that convinced the Looney Tunes to battle back, and of course they did, and then they did tie the game and actually took the lead at the end of the third quarter. Yeah, and then eventually like Dom then does like realize that uh um like LeBron really does want Dom to pursue his dreams, and then of course then LeBron and Dom do make up, and then Dom abandoned the Goon Squad and joined up with the Tunes. Yeah, and then then Algie then just then took control of the Goon Squad and then just used his abilities to just really like get the Goon Squad in the lead again, and then it showed that the only way to win the for the Toons to win the game is to use a glitch move, and yeah, and plus just like the first movie, like it came down to like the final 10 seconds of the game for the Toon Squad to actually win. Yeah, yeah, and so like I said, the only way to win the game for the Toons was to actually use a glitch move, but it was also said that like whoever does this glitch will actually be deleted. Yeah, and then yeah, LeBron was tried to was like made a plan to really for him to like sacrifice himself to win, but then it showed that Bugs was the one that made the sacrifice and he performed the move, and that allowed like LeBron to really get the ball and was able to then try to make a dunk. And similar to like the first film, as the Monstars were like trying to stop Michael Jordan from making the game-winning basket, like Algie like was holding on to LeBron to try to stop him, but then Dom then like was able to help LeBron get the uh, to score the basket, and then that allowed the Toons to win. And then that also ended up posterizing LG and deleted him in the Goon Squad. And then in the Toon celebration, then like just all the abducted citizens were returned to the real world. And then it showed how Bugs was like in the process of being deleted, and just showed like all the Looney Tunes just like mourning over him, and then it showed how then LeBron and Dom were then sent back to real life as well, and then it just showed how and then Bugs then just like said that's all, folks, and then he was just lifted up and disappeared. Now, oh yeah, man, I guess I should say how like after the victory, the Looney Tunes like were restored back to their hand drawn form. Yeah, yeah, and then of course then afterwards like LeBron and Dom found themselves back in like the basement of the lab that they were in when they actually did transport to the virtual reality dimension. And yeah, and then LeBron and Dom reunited with their family, and LeBron was in support of Dom's decision to be a video game designer. Then then it cut to the following week, and it showed how LeBron dropped Dom off at E E3 to for a game design camp, but then as Tom then was let me go walked into the camp, and then it showed how Bugs appeared, and it showed he survived due to the fact he was a fictional character and he couldn't really die, and so then he pretty much then just like asked LeBron if he could stay with him until he can find a way back to the Toon World, and then yeah, LeBron let him, and then just ended with Bugs saying asking if he can invite the other Toons over as well. Yeah, and then that's how the movie ended. So yeah, I guess this is kind of similar to what they did in the What's Opera Doc Looney Tunes episode where how at the end it seemed that Bugs had died, but before it actually ended, Bugs just lifted his head and said, "Well, what did you expect in an opera? A happy ending?" So I guess this is kind of similar to that. How it seemed how Bugs was dead, but of course he ended up surviving. But yeah. But anyways, yeah, and that's how the movie ended. So overall, I mean, I did like the film. I mean, there was a lot about it that I really did like. I mean, I did overall like the story. I liked how they made LeBron animated. I did like just the additions of all the various Warner Brothers characters. Yeah, I mean the basketball game stuff, like when they do actually play basketball, like that stuff can get like kind of silly. I wish they would have taken that more seriously. But there was still like a lot of stuff about the movie that I really did enjoy. So yeah, so I'm really not understanding fully like why people really are like hating on this film. I mean, yeah, just don't compare it to the original. Just look at it as is and just, just like judge it like as its own thing. Don't really like make always compare it to the original. Because yeah, the original one is definitely better, but this is still like a very enjoyable. So I really do find it very hard to really call this movie bad. So I am glad that I did see this movie. So overall, like I really cannot say that this is a bad movie because there was a lot about it that I really did enjoy. Okay, so I really do give the movie a thumbs up. I really did like it, and I really do like. If you haven't seen the movie before, if you really just do really find it stupid that they have made a sequel like all these years later, and you don't like that LeBron James is in it rather than Michael Jordan, still just give the movie a watch. Just don't. It's really don't judge a book by its cover kind of film because yeah, the film does definitely still do have like does have a lot of enjoyable elements to it. So yeah, so even if you don't like what this like like the setup of the movie, still give it a watch because there is still a lot to be enjoyed, and it really will like give you like a nostalgic feeling if you just seeing like all these various additional characters from Warner Brothers in the movie. So so overall, I do like the film, so I do give it a pass. All right. So yeah. So what are your guys' thoughts on the movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Just what are your thoughts on it? Comment on my channel and tell me your thoughts on this movie. All right. But yeah, my verdict overall is yeah, there was a lot to enjoy about the movie, so I find it really hard to call it bad. So yeah, overall, I do give the movie a thumbs up. All right. Yeah, so I guess this is all I can really say about it. So yeah, so these are my thoughts on Space Jam: A New Legacy. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Yeah, and of course, like next weekend is SummerSlam. So yeah, so sometime this week there are like a couple of SummerSlam shows that I do want to make reviews for. So yeah, so sometime during the week I will make like a couple little reviews for just retro SummerSlam events. So yeah, stay tuned for those coming up sometime this week. All right. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.